What if everything you've ever known, your past, your future, your memories, was nothing but a shadow, an echo trapped in a loop that never truly moves forward? What if time itself isn't real, but just a trick your mind plays to make sense of the chaos? For as long as we've existed, humans have worshipped time. We measure it, chase it, fear it. We divide our lives into years, hours, seconds, tiny boxes that we believe are carrying us forward towards something. But what if all this movement is an illusion? What if time is not a river flowing, but a vast ocean, still, silent, infinite, and we are just waves thinking we're traveling, when in truth we're not going anywhere at all? In the black silence of the cosmos, there is no ticking clock. Atoms do not age. Galaxies do not count minutes. Only consciousness, our awareness, creates the sense of before and after. Without an observer, even the universe itself might exist as one frozen frame, timeless. Physicists have long suspected that time might not be what it seems. Einstein shattered the old world when he said time is relative, that it bends, stretches, and slows depending on where you are and how fast you move. But he also hinted at something deeper, something darker. He said that for a being who could see the universe all at once, past, present, and future would all coexist. Everything that has happened and everything that will happen already is. It's a haunting thought because it means that right now, every moment of your life already exists somewhere. Your first breath, your last heartbeat, your happiest memory, they're all still there, eternally suspended in a vast cosmic tapestry. You just can't see it all at once. Imagine standing outside of time. You'd see civilizations rise and fall like waves breaking on the shore. You'd see stars ignite and die in a single flicker. You'd see the entire history of the universe playing out at once, like a single cosmic photograph, captured forever in space-time. But then what are we? If everything already exists, if time doesn't flow, then what does it mean to live? This is where the dark side of time begins. Because if time is not real, then neither is change, neither is death, and perhaps neither is meaning. Physicists call this view the block universe. In it, time is just another dimension, like height or width or depth. The past and the future are not gone or unborn. They simply are, existing side by side, stitched together by the geometry of space-time. To us, trapped inside this block, it feels as if we're moving through time. But maybe we're not moving at all. Maybe it's just our consciousness, the light of our awareness, sliding across the surface of this timeless reality, frame by frame, giving the illusion of motion. Like a film strip running through a projector, every frame already exists. It's only the light that moves. But this was only the beginning. If time is just an illusion, why do we age? Why do we remember the past but not the future? Why does the arrow of time always point forward when physics says it doesn't have to? Deep down, there's something else at play, a hidden rule of the universe that gives direction to this illusion. And to uncover it, we have to go back to the very birth of time itself, the Big Bang. But before that first explosion, before light, before space, before motion, there was no before. So, how did time begin? And if it began, can it also end? As we step closer to this mystery, one thing becomes terrifyingly clear. Maybe time isn't a river flowing toward the future. Maybe it's a mirror reflecting us back to ourselves. And maybe, just maybe, we were never meant to escape it. Imagine for a moment that time didn't begin with a bang, but with silence. A silence so absolute that even the concept of before meant nothing. There was no past, no future, no motion, no waiting for something to happen, because happening itself did not exist. And then, from that eternal stillness, a spark, not of sound, not of light, but of possibility. The moment that spark ignited, reality unfolded, and with it, the illusion of time was born. Scientists call it the Big Bang, but that name doesn't capture the truth. It wasn't an explosion in space. It was an explosion of space. Time and space were not passengers on that journey. They were the fabric itself, woven together in a single breath of creation. In that instant, everything began to stretch, not just matter or light, but time itself, expanding like a growing heartbeat across the newborn universe. Seconds began to exist, moments began to flow, the cosmic clock had started ticking. But here's where the illusion deepens. To us, it feels like the universe is evolving, changing, aging. But if you could step outside of this dimension, if you could see the full picture, you'd realize that every phase of the universe, from the Big Bang to its end, already exists. You would see it all at once, like a vast tapestry already woven, every thread glowing, still, and complete. What we call the beginning is merely one frame in that grand, timeless story. The Big Bang didn't start time, it defined it. It gave direction to something that never truly moves. For the first few seconds after that moment, reality was chaos, temperature and density beyond imagination, space itself twisting and folding faster than light could keep up with. Particles collided, merged, and vanished in a dance so violent that even physics struggles to describe it. But among that chaos, a rhythm began to emerge, a pattern. And that pattern was entropy. Entropy is the hidden hand behind the arrow of time. It's the law that says everything, eventually, must fall apart. A hot object cools, a glass shatters, a star burns out. Entropy increases, and that increase gives time its direction. Without entropy, time would have no meaning. You could watch a film in reverse, and it would look the same. But in our world, you can tell what came first, the intact glass or the broken pieces. That's the arrow of time, the whisper that says forward. But why does entropy always rise? Why doesn't the universe ever rewind? The truth might be hidden in the very first second of creation. The universe began in an incredibly low entropy state, perfect, smooth, balanced. Over time, that perfection decayed into disorder, giving birth to stars, galaxies, and eventually us. We exist because the universe is breaking down. But here's the paradox. If time is tied to entropy, what happens when entropy reaches its maximum? When every star dies, every atom falls apart, and all energy spreads evenly across the cosmos? When nothing more can happen, will time itself stop? Some scientists believe it will. They call it the heat death of the universe, a state where everything is at perfect equilibrium and no change can ever occur again. In that frozen eternity, there will be no before or after, no heartbeat of creation, no ticking clock. Time will fade into silence once more, the same silence from which it was born. But perhaps that silence is not the end. Perhaps it's a cycle. Because what if time, like a phoenix, dies only to rise again in a new form, a new universe, a new illusion, a new story pretending to be real? We like to believe we're travelers through time, but what if time is the traveler and we're the road it walks upon? The Big Bang may have set time into motion, but we still don't understand its essence. It flows, bends, and stretches, yet it can also freeze near black holes, slow down at the speed of light, and vanish entirely in quantum equations. Maybe time isn't something that exists at all. Maybe it's something that emerges, born from the interaction of matter, energy, and perception. Like the glow of firelight on a wall, it feels real, but it's only a shadow. And that means, somewhere deep within the mathematics of the universe, time might not be fundamental. It might just be a story the universe tells itself to make sense of its own existence. But if time is an illusion, then what are we? Are our lives, our choices, our memories just patterns in a timeless equation? Frozen waves in the ocean of eternity? It's a haunting question, because if that's true, then even as we sit here now wondering about time, every version of us that ever will exist is already out there, written, fixed, unchanging. Maybe you, watching this, are not moving through time at all. Maybe time is moving through you. But this was only the beginning.
Because the deeper you go, the stranger it gets. Quantum physics, the language of the smallest scales, suggests something even more impossible. It hints that time might not flow at all, and that the universe might be a static structure where everything simply is. And to see that truth, we'll have to step beyond the limits of physics, into the quantum realm, where time itself begins to vanish.
What if the now you're experiencing isn't real at all? What if this very moment, this second you think you're living, is just an illusion, painted on top of something timeless and still? Because in the strange and beautiful world of quantum physics, time doesn't flow, it doesn't tick, it doesn't even exist in the way we think it does. Down there, at the smallest scales of reality, beneath atoms, beneath energy, beneath the familiar world of clocks and calendars, there's only probability. A field of endless possibilities, all happening at once, until something, or someone, observes them. In this realm, particles do not have a fixed past or future. They simply are. A single particle can exist in many states at once, here and there, before and after, cause and effect, all tangled in an impossible symmetry. It's as if reality itself is holding its breath, waiting for consciousness to collapse it into something real. And when it does, that's when we call it time. This is where physics begins to whisper something terrifying. That maybe time isn't the stage on which events unfold. Maybe it's something that emerges only when we look, like a mirage born from observation. Physicist Carlo Rovelli once said, "Time is ignorance." He meant that what we call time might just be our limited perception of a universe that doesn't actually evolve. To an outside observer, everything already exists. Every cause, every consequence, every heartbeat and silence, all at once. Einstein saw hints of this too. He called time a stubborn illusion. To him, the separation between past, present, and future was only a trick of human consciousness, a shadow cast by our inability to see the whole. Imagine the entire universe as a gigantic sculpture, not a movie, not a flow, but a single, frozen masterpiece containing everything that ever happens. The birth of the first star, the fall of the last one, every thought you've ever had, suspended in that unchanging form. From our limited view, it feels like we move through it, like we're alive inside the story. But maybe we are the story. Maybe consciousness is the reader scanning through the pages of the cosmos, one frame at a time, giving life to something that never truly moves. But if time doesn't exist at the fundamental level, then why do we feel it so strongly? Why do we remember yesterday and not tomorrow? It might come down to something far stranger: entanglement. In the quantum world, two particles can become connected in such a way that their states depend on each other no matter how far apart they are. Change one, and the other changes instantly, across galaxies, even across time. Now imagine the entire universe entangled with itself, every atom connected to every other, every cause linked to every effect. What we call time might simply be the unfolding of these quantum relationships, a vast network of connections rearranging itself in an endless web of possibilities. And yet even that doesn't explain the mystery of the now. What is now? Why does it feel like a razor-thin edge cutting between past and future? Why can we only experience one frame at a time if all frames already exist? No one knows for sure, but one possibility is that consciousness, the observer, isn't just watching time unfold, it's creating it. Perhaps reality, in its deepest form, is timeless, and our perception of time is born the moment awareness looks at the universe. Like a flashlight sweeping through darkness, consciousness illuminates one slice of the timeless whole, giving birth to what we call the present. In that sense, you are the creator of time. Every thought, every heartbeat, every choice adds to the illusion of flow. Without you, there is no before or after, only the infinite waiting to be seen. This idea isn't just poetic, it's scientific. Some theories in quantum cosmology, like the Wheeler-DeWitt equation, describe a universe with no time at all. Its laws are timeless, static, complete. Only when an observer interacts with it does the illusion of time arise.
That means reality could be a still ocean of possibility, and we are the waves that bring it to life. But this raises a haunting question. If time is created by consciousness, does that mean when we die, time stops too? Or does it mean we simply wake up outside of time, realizing we were never bound by it in the first place? Maybe death isn't the end. Maybe it's the moment we step out of the movie, out of the illusion, and see the whole real for what it really is: complete, perfect, eternal. If the universe truly exists as one timeless entity, then you've never really been born. You've never truly died. You've simply been forever. But this was only the beginning, because even this view, that consciousness creates time, might not be the final truth. Some physicists now suspect that there's something even deeper, that time itself might have a dark side, an unseen structure shaping everything we experience, hidden behind the curtain of perception.
What if time isn't something we pass through, but something that passes through us? What if every heartbeat, every sunrise, every memory is not a step forward, but a gentle wave brushing against the surface of who we truly are? In this final descent into the mystery, we must face a truth that is both terrifying and beautiful. If time is an illusion, then everything you've ever loved, every moment you've ever lived, is still here, unchanged, eternal, waiting in the quiet folds of reality. The world teaches us that time heals, that it moves on, that everything fades. But if physics is right, nothing ever fades. The laughter of a child, the last words of a dying star, the echo of your very first thought, they all still exist, embedded forever in the geometry of space-time. You don't lose moments, you just move your awareness away from them. Einstein once wrote to the family of a friend who had died, "Now he has departed from this strange world a little ahead of me. That means nothing." People like us, who believe in physics, know that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubborn illusion. Maybe that's not just comforting poetry. Maybe it's the truth. Because if time doesn't flow, if all moments coexist, then your story isn't a line that ends. It's a circle that never breaks. Imagine this. Somewhere in the universe, there's still a version of you watching your first sunrise. Another version laughing, crying, falling in love, saying goodbye. And somewhere else, there's a version of you who has already seen the end of all things and smiles because they finally understand. Time is not the enemy, it's the mask of eternity. But what is the dark side of time? It's not evil. It's the hidden truth we're afraid to face. We cling to time because it gives us meaning. It gives us the illusion of purpose, the belief that we can grow, change, become something more. If everything already exists, then where does that leave free will? Where does that leave choice? Do we choose, or do we simply follow the script already written in the fabric of the cosmos? Maybe both. Maybe free will is the feeling of reading a story we've already written, forgetting for a while that we are both the author and the reader. The joy of discovery is the illusion of surprise in a universe that already knows its ending. It sounds cold, doesn't it? But look deeper, and you'll see something miraculous. Because if every moment exists forever, then nothing is truly lost. Every love, every kindness, every dream, it all matters. Every act of compassion echoes endlessly through the structure of reality. The universe doesn't forget. It simply holds everything in silence. Perhaps this is why we crave time. Not because it's real, but because it allows us to experience the eternal, one breath at a time. It slows infinity into something we can understand. It gives the infinite a heartbeat. And maybe that's the true gift of the illusion: to live, to feel, to move through the tapestry, frame by frame, believing that we are creating it, when in truth, we are remembering it. Some philosophers call this the eternal return, the idea that existence repeats forever, not in time, but in being, that the universe is not a story being told, but a song being played on an infinite loop, Every note, always there, always now. So what does it mean for us, the dreamers inside the dream? It means your life is sacred, not because it's fleeting, but because it's eternal. It means every moment you touch another soul, every act of love, every spark of creativity is carved into the unchanging structure of reality. You are more than a moment. You are a melody in eternity. Perhaps that's what truly is. Not an end, not a loss, but a return. A return to the stillness beyond time, to the infinite silence from which everything came. A silence that doesn't erase you, but remembers you perfectly. And when you close your eyes for the last time, maybe you'll wake up to see the entire timeline of your existence stretched before you, every moment glowing softly, all equally alive. You'll see that you never really went anywhere. You've been home all along. Because in the dark side of time, there is no darkness at all. Only light, folded in ways the human mind can't yet see. And as the universe continues to unfold its endless illusion, remember this: you are not a victim of time. You are its creator, its witness, and its heartbeat. You are the one who makes eternity real. So when you look up at the night sky, know this: somewhere in the vast stillness, the first light of the Big Bang is still shining. And somewhere, billions of years from now, your light is still shining too. Because maybe time never began, and maybe it will never end. It only waits for us to open our eyes.